Hello, all you beautiful people that tune into my channel for some cryptocurrency news. Today's article comes from Bitcoin Magazine, and President Joe Biden will veto legislation allowing financial firms to custody Bitcoin, says the White House. Now, this announcement comes amidst debates and discussions in Congress today regarding the regulation and oversight of digital assets. Now, it's pretty crazy. Again, this didn't get vetoed and the financial institutions were finally allowed to custody crypto for you. Myself, other crypto holders still would say, don't do it. Don't keep your cryptos in the bank. It's like, don't keep your money in the bank because it's not your money or crypto at that point. So, our stance will still be the same, but I feel like this is still, though, stifling, the progressive movement forward with it. It's like, it just allow them to do it. So that way they have options. Let the banks control your crypto or learn how to self-custody it. But just having Joe Biden veto this, if it were to come up to him, just how do I want to say it? It's like he's not doing it for the best interest. It's not for him being my mindset, other crypto people's mindset, going oh, he gets it. He wants them to custody it themselves. No, he just doesn't want any of this to happen. But no, let's just go through this article to hear a little bit more about what they were debating on today and get a little bit more insight on this. So here we go. The executive, let me zoom in a little bit more for you. There we go. That looks beautiful. The executive office of U.S. President Joe Biden has announced its stance on the proposed legislation HG Res 109. Now, that would allow highly regulated financial firms to act as custodians for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Now, here's Bitcoin Magazine's X post about how U.S. Biden would say no and veto this if it came up to him. The statement of administration policy and what he says. Now, the administration strongly opposes passage of HJ Res 109, which would disrupt the Securities and Exchange Commission's work to protect investors in crypto asset markets and to safeguard the broader financial system. Okay, so this would then get rid of their power for everything they've been doing so far. It's no, why should they be? But comes from the executive office of the president, stating that if he were to get presented with this, he would veto it. Now, if you don't know what HJ Res is, or 109 is, it would overturn the SEC's staff accounting bulletin, and which imposes restrictions on financial institutions regarding the custody of digital assets under Congressional Review Act. Now, by overturning the SAB 121, this bipartisan resolution would remove roadblocks that prevent highly regulated financial institutions and firms from acting as custodians for Bitcoin and digital assets. Now, the U.S. Congressman Patrick McHenry, chairman of the House of Financial Service Committees, expressed support for overturning the SEC's SAB 121, stating that Staff Accounting Bulletin, or the SAB 121, is one of the most glaring examples of regulatory overreach that has defined Gary Gensler's tenure at the SEC. Through SAB 121, the Commission is trying to dictate how financial institutions and firms safeguard American digital assets under the guise of so-called staff guidance. So yeah, they're saying oh, we're here to protect you. So of course they don't want to, because then they're losing that right to be able to say that and do that kind of stuff. But the Financial Service and the GOP posted a little clip. It's 6 minutes. I'm not going to play it, but here on the X post on where it showed the chairman of Patrick McHenry delivering his remarks in support for HJ Res 109 to nullify SAB. And yep, here he is. His lovely little bow tie. Bow ties are awesome. Doctor Who taught us that, as well as Bill Nye the Science Guy. But yeah, bow ties. But yeah, if you want to watch that video, go for it. But here's a little example or description of what he did say in it. But the SAB 121 requires financial institutions and firms that are safeguarding their customers' digital assets to hold those assets on their balance sheet. McHenry continued to say that that means banks would be required to take a significant capital, liquidity, and other costs under the existing prudential regulatory framework. This essentially makes it cost prohibitive for financial institutions to custody their customers' digital assets. This is a massive deviation from how highly regulated banks are traditionally required to treat the assets that they hold on behalf of their customers. Now, the U.S. Congressman French Hill also spoke out in support for the HJ Res 109, saying that holding reserves against the asset held in custody is not a standard financial service practice. The Biden adamance of the SAB 121 is misguided and should be nullified. And here's his post on that, holding reserve against the asset. Serbian, that was his statement as well, if you want to hear him talk about that. But discouraged that President Biden issued a statement of administration policy saying he would veto it, the joint resolution to nullify the SEC staff accounting bulletin, said Cody Carbone, chief policy officer at the Chamber of Digital Commerce, an American advocacy group that promotes the Bitcoin industry in DC, and SAB 121 effectively prohibits trusted custodians from being able to manage digital assets. Now, earlier this year, Congressman Mike Flood and Wiley Nicole co-authored a bipartisan op-ed on the SEC flawed SAB 121 guidance, stating that when it comes to digital asset custody, it's clear our most regular institutions need to be at the table for this and not the SEC. Expressing concern about the lack of custodian options for spot Bitcoin ETFs would lead to concentration risks. But no, so what do you guys think of this? Like, do you think we should nullify the SAB 121? I think we should. But who's it going to take to get this HJ Res 109 to go through? I don't know. Let's get Trump in. Maybe he won't video it. But yeah, so that's that article for you. Hope you guys enjoyed the read through and got a little bit more insight what's been going on. And if so, smash that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, the Crypto Sherpa is out.